Hey traders, Akil here with this week's live room weekend review. Feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to make it a little short, at least on this intro part. But thank you for joining me once again. If you're new, um, make sure you check out the written review underneath this video. If you're on YouTube, head over to either the Trade Empowered site or the Ratio Trading Mentor site to check out the written review to give a little more detail about how this week went. But the theme for this week, as the title of the video, is a simple equation for profit. And the idea for that came to me just looking at how our trading went. We did have another profitable week in the room, just as we've had every week in January so far. But we got to it a little differently. Last week, if you watched the video, it was a little streaky. I had a streak of losses. Not blaming it on the ECB press conference, but you know. But made a comeback with a few trades and ended in profit. This week was the exact opposite, and we really sniped the market. Only I think we won about 75% of our trades this week. So just showing that no matter no matter how you attack the market, it's not really about winning every day, being profitable every week. It's about trading consistently. And the the simple equation I have is this. If you want to be a consistently profitable trader, all you have to do is this. You have to have consistent rules, and you have to have, consistent execution, meaning that, following those rules. If consistent rules plus consistent execution equal profitable trading. Now, of course, no, the you have to make sure your rules, you have a profitable system, meaning that, you know, whatever's in your plan is testable, verifiable, and repeatable. But once you get that down, you should be able to do the same thing day in and day out in the market, and in the long haul, be a very profitable trader. And that's what we kind of showed you guys, or showed the traders in the live room over the past 2 weeks. Again, last week I think the 36% win percentage. What do? We just kept sticking our, kept staying in the market. Took the same patterns, did the same analysis, ended up profitable. With a small win percentage. This week, same thing, same analysis, took the same trades, much better win percentage. But the thing that really matters is, were we profitable? So I want to touch on that a little bit. What we're going to go over today in this week's video, we're going to start off with show you about a Syndicate winner, one that we've been watching since the beginning of the year. I'm going to take you through some of the live room sessions, and then I'm going to come back at the very end of the video and give you a sneak peek at a trade that, a trade that may be ready for the taking when the market opens tomorrow, depending on what goes on over the weekend. So we'll start off with the Syndicate video. It's going to be real quick. We're looking at, if I can find it, let me see, where are you at? Too many charts up here. Looking at New Zealand dollar, and we'll go down to the 240. But very simple. Not that great of a week in the Syndicate. We had a lot of, if you're a follower of the yen pairs, we had a lot of the yen crossing pairs create cipher patterns. And I did a video for Syndicate members and in the live room, and talked about how you really need to be careful about which ones you take and what markets in your portfolio, because you don't want to get caught in a situation where you're entering 8 different trades that are basically doing the exact same thing. It's great when you win; you're going to get 8 winners in a row. But when you lose, it's going to be if you have 8 different positions on, it's going to be a much bigger drawdown than maybe what you're used to. And the majority of those cipher patterns were busted out. Looking at the ones I was paying attention to, pound yen was the only one that came down and hit profit. But here on New Zealand dollar, we had a Gartley pattern, and it looked like completed beginning of January. All right, a little later than the beginning of January. But anyway, we've been waiting for this trade for a while. You saw we spiked down. My targets were down here at the 3-2. We spiked down, nearly got it, came back up, and just consolidated for a while. And this is a true case where patience pays off. Was patient, didn't adjust my targets. I did move stops down to break even, or to break even to protect myself, but waited it out. and ended up banking in about 100 pips in profit. And so did a lot of the traders I work with. So a great case of, hey, patience pays off. Patience pays, literally. So that's it for the syndicate, and we'll get into the live room videos now. Slow day, but not a bad day in the live room to start off the week. We actually kicked off the live room session with two at-market trades, one being a cipher pattern on Aussie dollar 15-minute, which gave us a little bit of pain. You can see the wick right here spiked up, got us almost to profit a few times and spiked back down, but ended up hitting target one in the last hour of our session. And then a little bigger trade, we had a bat pattern on Euro Yen that we entered, which you can see is stops are protected right now, and we're trailing on the range bar charts. But we got some big targets on here, looking at about 100 pips to target one, or 90 pips to target one, and then almost 200 pips to target two. If we take it that far, you can see there's a cipher pattern in the mix as well, which we may adjust targets to. But for right now, just looking to get target ones hit. We got them at structure instead of just purely at the Fibonacci. Some of the live room members did have a Fibonacci 382, and they did get profit targets hits for a very good trade today. I'm waiting to see if price action will spike a little bit higher. But again, do have my stops protected. So worst case scenario, I'll leave with a little bit of profit, but no possibility of me taking a loss at all. And that's how I like to manage my trades. Wednesday was eerily similar to Tuesday. Not much out there as far as trading wise. We did take two trades. You can see them both on the board right now. Pound yen, we actually just got involved in a bat pattern and about 4 pips in it. Right now, we came up and tested the X leg and looking for profit targets a little bit lower. So that'll be good if that can get completed. And that'll actually be a pretty big one, a 40. Looks like a 48 pip potential winner. But we'll see if that happens. Euro dollar, we did have a good winner. Didn't take the bat pattern you see here. I was actually going to stop and reverse, but our session ended. But a nice little structure-based trade, nice little CTS trade down here. We had a double bottom. We did some higher time frame analysis, picked out a really good resistance level up here that the market should respect, and lo and behold, market respected it. Bullish divergence got entered right around here, spiked up for target ones up in this area for a good I don't know how much, 20 something pips, and just shy of target two. So we're gonna see if we can push right back up there again and make this a very good trade. And even though, like I mentioned earlier, not allowed out there as far as trading wise goes, but we're being really efficient with what we do trade. Yesterday we two trades brought in about 60 pips, and that's with missing. I never got filled for my targets on the Euro Yen. I got stopped out for trail stops that were in profit, but trail stops nonetheless. So I left out about 50, 60 pips on the table with that one. Actually more than that, maybe about 80 pips. It doesn't matter. But we'll see if we get these two winners today, and we can bank in maybe another 100 pips in a live room and make it seem like we didn't do anything at all. But that's the way to trade: slow, steady, and efficient. Thursday was a pretty, I guess another low-key trading day. We're once again following suit of getting two trades a day. We had one on Aussie dollar. You can see right now, simple bat pattern. Target ones hit. Looking for target twos right now. I didn't even add up how many pips it was. Probably I think 20 something. Not too big, but got a chance to show off a different style of trading here on the pound yen. And right now we've broken out this channel, but got to show off a style of naked trading and well, not literally naked trading, but naked trading meaning no ratios, no indicators, nothing on the chart. Or nothing on the chart used for analysis. And basically what I looked at was, we knew the overall direction of the market. There were a few advanced patterns setting up in the higher time frame, and we also had a double top on the 5-minute. But we knew that there was a bearish bias on this chart. Came down, and you can see we hit this level, hit this structure high once, twice already, forming a little bit of a channel. So when the third time decide to get involved on a short, really it's a structure-based trade that really gave us a really short risk reward. Because again, stops were only up at 142.85s, I think, or 142.86 sixes. Not too far above where we entered at. And it was a good possibility that, if this market rolled over, it was a good chance we'd come down not only to test these lows of the channel, but also continue downwards to, another, down to 142.21. Now, as you can see, the market never made that move. We did spike down once again. I did get my first targets off and got stopped out for break even before the market comes up. Next area I think it'll retest is probably this 143 flat. And that's a good reason of why, especially with first targets, you want to be conservative with them. You don't want to shoot for the moon every time. You want to put first targets in an area where the market's most likely to go. And because when we're making this analysis, realize this: we're not 100% in everything we predict. Predictions are just that. They're where we think the market's going to go, and it doesn't always follow through 100% of the time. But at least in scenarios like this, we can get off the board with a few pips, in a target one hit, and then get stopped out for what's most importantly not a loss. Okay, traders, as promised, before I head out, I want to give you a quick look at a trade I've had my eye on for the past week or so. And we're looking at euro pound on the daily chart, maybe even a little easily seen on the weekly, but it's a bat pattern. And we're looking for a completion up at the 886, which is 84.28, so about 30 something pips from where we're at right now. And we'll see if this gets filled on Sunday when the market's open. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week. And remember this: consistent rules plus consistent execution will equal consistent profit. Take care, traders.